All right, we are live with the Insert More Coins show. I don't even know what episode we're on now. It doesn't even matter. It's a bunch. So I have got the fantastic author, Mr. Corbin Rook, and his book, Shadows of the Sundered Lands.
For you.
Oh, that is a beautiful cover. I really like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
It's
the
so
the
good.
cover designer was Seema Love. She crushed it. I absolutely love this cover.
It is nice.
Yeah,
So
she
how
did a
you
great
doing
job.
tonight?
Yeah, doing good, doing good. Yourself?
Or I say tonight, I'm doing good, but today, I guess we should
Today.
say, it has
Yeah.
been a extremely busy day. We were talking before, like I have been outside for
hmm
literally 4+ hours right now, and I ran in doing this interview, and then I'm headed right back outside to do to do more. So
That's the way it goes.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's literally the first nice weekend
hmm
we've had since probably October.
hmm
So it's time,
hmm
almost time to get the pool opened up and all that.
hmm
Looking forward to it. So
Yeah,
good.
my 4-year-old and I are going to go mow the lawn later.
Oh yeah.
He still thinks it's cool to go mow the
Yeah.
lawn, and so.
I remember taking my kids whenever they were young or they'd be like fussy inside,
hmm
like everybody else. You bring them outside, put them on the mower with you, and they're asleep within 5 minutes.
Right, right, exactly,
So
exactly.
good times back in the day. Oh me. Well, I guess we can get started. So first off, if you want to tell us about yourself, and then you can go into talking about your book.
Yeah. So, yeah, my name's Corbin Rook, and I wrote this book, Shadows of the Sundered Lands. It's a post-apocalyptic fantasy story. I call it a hope punk fantasy story because while the world can be a very dark world, it's a very hopeful story. And if you read a lot of the reviews, a lot of people have commented on how hopeful it feels. But the premise of the book is that really the apocalypse has already happened, and there's these just a few communities that people can survive in, where they're living under these protective bubbles. And if they leave these bubbles, they start to transform into these monsters. And the area in between these protected cities and villages is called the Sundered Lands because they've been cut off and sundered from each other. And so there's a group of people that travel through the Sundered Lands on purpose to relay messages or carry supplies, food, medicine. And the main character is one such of these couriers. And while he's on mission, he starts to uncover some evidence that these shrouds are beginning to break down. And if they break down, everyone's going to die, be transformed into monsters. And so he has to figure out how is he going to stop this. And so that's the premise of the book.
Nice. Sounds really good. So this is your debut,
Mhm.
right?
That's
That's right.
correct. That's my debut novel.
Okay. All right. Are you planning on making this like a series, or is this a standalone, or?
Yeah, it is the first in a four-book series, but books 1 through 3 are all standalones.
Oh,
One of the
okay.
things that I saw with a lot of authors
Hmm.
is unless they had a book go viral with book one, um, the reviews and readership would go down as the series continued, which makes sense. If somebody
Yeah.
doesn't like the book, they're not going to read the next one, or sometimes TBR lists are just really long. And so, what I wanted to do was make a series where you could jump in and enter the series at really any point.
Yeah.
And so, the books 1 through 3 are all standalones, and then they are tied up and resolved in a fourth book. So, yeah, the
That's
second book's going to be coming out later this year. It's
okay.
called Symphony of Scars, and so this Sundered Lands takes place, in one isolated nation. But there's
Yeah.
this sense of like, hey, we don't know what's going on in the rest of the world because we're all trapped here.
Mm.
And so book two, Symphony of Scars, gives more of that macro lens, showing what's happening around the rest of the world, and how the world has changed over the century that this nation's been cut off. And so there's people that have figured out how to tap into magic through music, and special metals, things like that. And so I don't want to tease, or I don't want to
Yeah.
say too much about the story right now and spoil anything. But that book's going to be coming out later this year.
Okay. That is a really cool idea. I've never seen anyone do that. I don't know if it has been, but so three. standalones, and then
Mhm.
the fourth book ties it kind of all together. Is that kind of
Yes.
like that? So, okay.
Yeah, so, like,
Yeah.
if you read Shadows of the Sundered Lands, you
Mhm.
will have, um, what I'll call them, questions for that book, like, "Hey, how did the Sundered Lands come to be?" "Who were
Yeah.
these people?" All of those questions will get answered in that book, but there are gonna be some loose threads that, they may lead to some other questions, and those
Oh,
are left open to be resolved in that 4th book, and then when you read Symphony of Scars, um, main conflict resolves, it still works as a standalone,
yeah.
but then it's like, hey, but what about X that happened near the end? What are the implications of this event? And then the 3rd book I'm working on right now, it's in just got sent to beta readers a couple days ago, and it's very similar to where it's standalone, resolves nicely, but the ending of the book has implications for the future, and then that 4th book ties it all together. And
Huh.
as you read through the
Yeah.
series, you may see hints and Easter eggs that point to like, oh, this event is going to directly impact the characters over here.
Yeah.
But you don't need to have any of these as homework, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Does that make it easier to like write the stories? Because every one of them kind of has a legit ending to it, even though
Hmm.
the last book is going to kind of tie everything together.
Right.
Does that make it a little easier to write?
Yeah, I thought it made it a little bit easier. And like you grow as a writer too, and
Yeah.
so if there's if you're thinking of ideas like, oh, this character needs to do this in this story, by making it a new standalone, I'm not really handicapped by any decisions that I made in book one.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you're just kind of free to kind of let the story happen. And like Brandon Sanderson says, to err on the side of awesome. And so whatever is like, oh, this would make the story better. It's you don't have to worry about those continuity issues, and so that I did find it helpful from that point of view.
Yeah. Mark's in here. If this is the real Mark, I heard he got hacked. So I don't know if it's true or not. Are you an AI bot, Mark? What's up, buddy? We're doing good. We're doing good. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it to me that sounds super interesting because you can, like you had said, finish up all three books. And
Mhm,
then because to me, whenever you're getting like series that are like 3, 4, 5 books long or more,
mhm,
I feel like unless you're just a really good planner to plan everything out, I feel like you'd have trouble, like,
right.
trying to remember things and all that, but where with what you're doing, it seems like you could do all 3 standalones, and then, "Okay, now I can go back and answer all these questions in each one in just one book." Like, I think that's really cool. That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
yeah, it helped me out a lot, and when I was writing Shadows of the Sundered Lands, one thing I wanted to give myself permission to do was, as I followed my plot, to make necessary changes. If I, had an idea, it's like, oh, I think this would make the story better. To give myself the freedom and liberty to do that. And yeah, if you're plotting out and there's people that can do it and they crush it, like 10
Yeah,
book series, everything's plotted out, they know where things are going. That's just not the way my brain works. At
yeah,
least not right now. Maybe in the future I'll get there, but hats off to them for having that skill set. So I kind of need to give myself the flexibility to be able to pivot towards what I think makes the story better.
yeah. Okay. So, what was your inspiration in writing your books?
Yeah, it started when I was a kid, actually playing Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess with my cousin.
Oh,
Um,
nice game. Very
yeah,
nice.
very,
Okay.
very great game. Apologies if you hear my dog barking in the background.
Well,
Must be an Amazon delivery guy, but
they're coming to our house too today. What do you
that's
know?
right. That's right. The enemy is here.
Yeah.
But so my cousin had the game, and so I'd come over to his house, and um, the premise of the game, if, for anyone that hasn't played it, is Link is in this idyllic Hyrule, and then Twilight descends, and there's all these weird monsters that pop up, and then he doesn't know where his friends are. He has to go find them, and he's transformed into a wolf monster, and that's the basic premise of the game. And so as a kid playing it, I thought, hey, what if all these monsters that he's having to fight, what if they are his friends and the villagers? What if they all got turned into monsters? Like that's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
And obviously that's not what happens in the game. But when I would play the game, that's kind of the way things would go in my head, is that he
Hmm.
was this courier that had to go from village to village, and that all the monsters you see used to be people. And so that was just kind of in the back of my head. And so when I was in my early 20s, I was outlining and working on a novel uh, called Fall of Avani that ended with that environment, where it's a tragic story where everything falls apart, and it ends where darkness descends on the land, people transform into monsters. And I at that time I didn't know how to write something that long, and as I was writing it, I was running into problems and plot holes, and I could tell I wasn't doing very well, and so I got discouraged and just quit. But the idea of that world kind of stayed in my head, and so when I turned 30, I said I'm going to give another crack at this. And but instead of picking up that original outline, I said I really want to start with my original planned book too, because that was the one I was actually excited about. And
Yeah.
so that's where I started.
Heck yeah. That sounds really cool. Like, okay, were you a big Zelda fan
Oh
growing up?
yeah, I love Ocarina of
Yeah,
Time, Majora's
that
Mask, Wind Waker. Yeah, I
that's
played
the
them
go
all.
right there.
Yep.
My two favorite, I would say my order would probably be Ocarina of Time because it's the
Hmm.
first Zelda I actually completed.
It's classic.
Loved it. That, then probably Wind Waker,
Hmm.
and then probably Twilight Princess. That's my
Hmm.
three
They're
favorites. Now
great.
I like the new ones, but there's just something about that 3D art style back in the day.
Right.
I don't know. They were
Hmm.
just top tier.
Yeah.
Love
I,
them.
I remember playing Wind Waker as a kid, and when you can pick up the enemy's weapons that they dropped, I was like, that
Yeah.
is the coolest thing in the
Yeah.
world. Obviously, it's nothing new now, but
Yeah.
at the time, I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I'll never forget playing those. I'll never forget beating Ocarina of Time for the first time,
Mhm.
just being like mesmerized going through that whole game on just how
Mhm.
great it is.
Right, right.
I'm curious, which you've heard, I'm sure, that they're making the movie.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, I'm curious what it's gonna be about because there's rumors some of it is definitely gonna have Ocarina of Time stuff in it. So I'm curious how
Okay.
close they go with it and then the new games and stuff like that. Like, that's gonna be
No,
cool.
when they said it was gonna be live action, I was a little nervous. I was
Oh,
like,
me too.
how you I was like, I don't, just thinking about the way Link and Zelda look. I was like, I don't know. And then I saw
Mm,
those set pictures of them in costume,
yeah,
and that just stilled all my concerns. I was like, okay, that guy looks exactly like Link. She looks exactly like Zelda.
yeah.
I'm curious to see what Link will sound like. If
I do too because are
yeah,
they he's supposed to talk in this, is
he's
he not?
supposed to talk. Yeah.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
we've only ever heard him grunt across
That's right.
decades of life.
So, yeah, I'm very I don't wanna say I'm concerned because I'm not, because I would say if it wasn't for how great Mario has been,
Mhm.
the movies, like, I think the second one that comes out in what, like a week and a half is gonna be incredible.
Yeah.
But my son, like all of us, my daughter, we love the Mario movie. But yeah, after they crushed it, because you remember when they first heard Chris Pratt's voice for the first time? It was
Yes.
like,
Yes.
"This is terrible." And then you watch it and you're like, "Holy crap, he's really good." Like,
Right.
you
Right.
actually can see it now,
Hmm.
and everybody else, oh, it's so great. So I trust Nintendo with that. I mean,
Yeah.
they rarely make anything bad, and I don't think they're gonna do it where it's not good. They will do
Right.
justice to it.
And the
So,
the guy that's directing it, I forget his name, right now, but he directed the new Planet of the Apes movie,
okay,
which
okay.
I think it's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes,
Yeah,
but, it was incredible. It
yeah.
was a really, really good movie, and so when I went to the theaters to see, I love the Apes movies,
Mhm.
but when I went to the theater, I was like, "Okay, this is the guy that's handling The Legend of Zelda. So we got to see, is this going to be, a good take? Is this going to be a good series? And so I totally, totally, all my concerns went away. It's a great movie. So if you're looking to do a little homework on that director, check out the new Planet of the Apes movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna be good for sure.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, Planet of the Apes movies, all the last, like, 4 or 5 that I've seen are all been great.
They're stellar. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the guy that plays Caesar as, like, that
Oh
is
my gosh, Andy Serkis.
incredible.
Yes.
Yeah, 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 Andy Serkis, that's right. That's so good. All right. So, what influences did you have to become an author?
Yeah, so I really read fantasy books, since I was really little. Like a lot of people, I started with the Chronicles of Narnia, um, and I remember finishing the series. And like a lot of people, it's like you finish this 7 book series, and I was like, okay, now what do I read next? What do I do?
Yeah.
And so my mom said, "Hey, why don't you check out Lord of the Rings?" And so I figured this question would come up. So we went to it was a little discount
Oh,
store called the
yeah.
Book Rack. And so I was maybe 11 years old at the time. So this is the copy of The Hobbit, which I
Nice.
consider this the book that made me really love the fantasy genre.
Yeah.
Um, and so, read Lord of the Rings, had my mind blown. And then a few years later are when the Aragon books came out. And
Mhm.
so at the time, he was 15 when I believe he was 15 when he wrote and published that first Aragon book. And so I was 14. And so it was like, oh my gosh,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
people that are actually doing this. So I was like, I'm going to try this. And so it was terrible, but I actually wrote my first full length novel as a teenager. And even me as a teenager knew like, this is absolute garbage. It's cheesy. It's very derivative of Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
but and so I was like, I'm just really bad at this. And I wish I could go back in time and talk to him and be like, you are 14 years old and you wrote a 60,000 page book from an original idea in your head, largely influenced by Lord of the Rings and Legend of Zelda. But
Yeah.
don't shame yourself for what you just
Oh,
did.
for
But yeah,
real.
I was definitely shaming of myself. I was like, oh, I guess I'm really bad at this. But is like that seed was planted in my head. And so
Yeah.
I kept revisiting it over the next several years. And for Shadows, I finally said, before I write this, I'm going to take the time and learn how do you actually write something this long? In school, they're like, hey, here's your 5 paragraph essay that you're supposed to do, and you have
Yeah.
follow your little formula. And up until I wrote this, besides the novel I wrote as a teenager, the longest thing I'd ever written was like a paper from business school on like taxation policy in Ireland and it was like 14
Yeah.
pages. And
Yeah.
um and so I was like, how do I actually write something that's, it's not 14 pages, it's 400 pages. And so I really tried to take the time and learn that. And then gave myself permission to fail. I was like, "Hey,
Mm.
this may be a terrible book when I'm on the other side of it, and so if it is, I'm just gonna start all over and do it all over again." And so, yeah, it took me. I finished the first draft, and like all first drafts, I thought it was terrible. My second draft was a little better, and my wife gave me some feedback on it. Third draft, I thought, okay, now you can really see the good parts. Made a
Yeah.
fourth draft. That was the last time I rewrote it. Was this fourth one, and now I was like, I want some friends to read this, and so then they gave me
Yeah.
feedback, and I revised it. Then I found some people online that were strangers, and it's like, could you read this? And they gave me feedback and changed it some more. And so then that was the version of the book. I saw a contest from Svetling Press, so
Mm.
Caden and Seema Love. So Caden wrote the book
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Toothsucker. Yeah, it's currently competing in SPFBO. So anyone watching, check it out.
Mm.
Show Caden some love. It's an awesome book. But they ran a contest for Svetling Press for debut authors, and basically saying we'll help you publish your book. And so I submitted Shadows, and it won the contest. And so so that's how we got to this side. So it's been revised even since then. They had some feedback and some ideas about how to make it better. And so I consider Shadows in its printed form. I consider this version 9 of the story. But yeah, I'm very proud of it. And once I felt like I learned how to actually write something that long, it's coming a lot more quickly to me now, if that makes sense. It's a
Yeah.
little easier.
Awesome. Yeah. Caden, I swear he's the youngest. I thought whenever I'd read his first book, I think I actually
Hmm.
won the audio code for his
Oh,
first
nice.
book. Yeah, and whenever I seen it, I thought it was just like I clicked on it and I was like, this kid's like I don't know, 14, 15 years old. And he's like 20 something. I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
he's got a
There's
baby
no
face.
way. Yes,
Yeah.
he does.
I shouldn't. I mean, I've got a baby face too. Getting a beard aged me up a lot.
Yeah.
My wife's grandmother was like, "Wow, you look so much older. You look at least 24." I was like, "I turned 33 this year, but whatever."
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. His stuff's good. I haven't got to read Tooth Sucker yet. I've got it on my
Mhm,
Kindle, and I've had it for months, but I've
mhm.
heard it's really good.
Yeah.
And
What I
what book
like
2
about
is
Caden's stuff is he's just so unhinged,
yeah,
and you can in his first book, Elegy of a Fragmented Vineyard,
that's the one
like,
that
you can
I've
see, yeah,
yeah,
he's learning how to be unhinged in that
yeah,
book.
yeah.
With that opening scene of the guy operating on the baby, I'm like, "What am I reading? This is
Yeah.
crazy."
Yes, I was like, "What are we doing here? I don't know if I wanna listen to this stuff." It was wild in the beginning.
Yep, yep,
But they say supposedly, Chromatic Creek, which is book 2, I think,
mhm,
of that
mhm.
is just as good, if not
That's
better.
awesome. That's awesome. I
That's
haven't
what I've
had a
heard,
chance to
so
check it out just yet.
yeah.
He's got a Kickstarter running for some premium hardcovers, so I was like, I gotta.
Mm,
That's a good reminder for me. I've been meaning to support at the level to get the hardcover of Chromatic Creep, so I'll have
yeah,
to do that after this.
yeah, that's a sick cover too, both of them. Both
Yeah,
covers are crazy looking, I love them.
yeah. Seema is a really, really good designer.
Okay.
She's great, and if I can plug her work here for just a second, one of
Yeah,
the things that when I was originally looking at publishing these books is I was like, okay, I want these to have a really good cover. But a lot of the best cover designers out there, are ridiculously expensive, or you message them and they just don't message you back. You're just two
yeah,
small potatoes. And then I would see people that were more in my range, and I'd look at the cover portfolio. I'm like, this is not good. Like I feel like if I can do better with Photoshop and stock photos, then
yeah,
I hire somebody? And so Seema, um, I think she does a really, really good job at a decent price. I love her art style and the kind of the angular faces and character design. So,
mm,
yeah, anybody that's looking for a great cover designer, reach out to Seema Love.
heck yeah, that's awesome. Alright, so what would you say what author or authors kinda inspired your, writing?
Yeah. Um, so Brandon Sanderson is one. I feel like you can't not say Brandon Sanderson in today's world.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. He's brilliant. I feel like his legacy on the fantasy genre is going to be the hard magic system and world building. And
yeah,
Shadows has a hard magic system, um, and then another author that was really influential was Michael J. Sullivan.
mhm,
He did the Rhaenyra books. Brilliant, brilliant guy. Great, great books. And the thing that I liked most about those books is kind of the romantic chemistry between the two male leads. And so, in this book, the main character Cam, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but he ends up getting a friendship with another male character, and they have a lot of banter and kind of bromance vibes that were inspired directly by the Rhaenyra books. And so those are the first, the top two that kind of come to my mind in terms of influences, especially Brandon Sanderson.
what's your favorite book of his?
I think Words of Radiance
Oh, me
is,
too.
yeah,
Yes.
that book. I liked Way of Kings. I
Yeah,
liked Oathbringer. Words of Radiance, it was like I had a mind meld with that
yeah,
book. It's like, holy cow, this book is good.
yeah. It took me 500 pages to figure out The Way of Kings.
Hmm.
I was just like, "I don't know if I'm gonna like this," and then those after that first 500, I was like, "I just don't know," and then the second 5 was like, "Oh, yes, this is
Right,
good," and then
right.
Words of Radiance, and it blew my mind. That last fight between, Kaladin and, well, what's his name? Says no, geez,
Oh,
what's
Zeph.
Zeph, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
That fight blew my mind. And then, like, I really like, I would say to me, Oathbringer is like right under
Right.
um Words of Radiance, because every time I read, or I know every time, I've only read it once, but the ending battle, and
Right.
to me, I swear, is just like an Avengers battle where
Right. Right.
everyone comes together finally and they all fight together. It was just like, oh my gosh, this is incredible.
Oh, so good. And I listen like while I'm exercising and stuff,
Mm.
and I got to the spot in the book where Dalinar is giving his, "You can't have my pain" speech. And
Yes.
I literally stopped and just had my jaw on the floor because I was just so like, "Oh my goodness, what am I
Yeah.
listening to?" And even now, like, I've listened to it so many times and gone back and listened to clips from it, and even now, when I listen to that whole speech, like, I get teary-eyed every time, and I'm not an emotional guy,
Yeah.
I'm just not, but it just I don't know, there's something about it, like,
Hmm.
I'm gonna take responsibility for all the wrong that I have done. You can't have that. I'm the one responsible for this, but I'm
Yeah.
moving forward and putting all this behind me. It's like, oh, I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so great. So great. Those two are probably my two two out of three favorite Sanderson books. I'm gonna
Yep.
say probably Mistborn,
Yep. I'm a huge Mistborn fan.
The Hero of Ages,
Mhm.
and The Lost Metal. Or
Okay.
that's probably my top
Mhm.
5.
Mhm.
'Cause I didn't like the first 2 of, Error 2, I was not a
Mhm.
fan of at all.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, "This stuff is not good."
Yeah. It it was I didn't like the humor as much in it. I'm kind of with
Yeah.
you. It felt so much smaller scale, like
Mhm.
the other Mistborn books, each one was kind of an end of the world event in
Yeah.
different
Exactly.
ways.
Yeah.
And then you pick up Alloy of Law, and it's okay, we're stopping the train robbers. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like these were end of the world books. Now it's we're stopping and obviously the series gets to that
Yeah.
level again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I do love the
Yeah.
Wax and Steris relationship. I thought that was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good. But definitely the last 2 books out of that 4 were really good. And then I guess
Mhm.
because of all the extra elements of the Cosmere that was in Alloy of
Yep.
Law, um, yeah, that's right. The Lost Metal. There we go.
Lost Metal. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you get all the extra stuff in it. That's what really brought it all together, and I was like, "Okay, this series is good if you can get through the first 2 books." And
Right.
luckily, the first 2 are short, so that always
Right.
helps.
Right.
But yeah, they were great. I did not like, I've never been a fan of Elantris, did not like it at
Oh,
all.
I do like Elantris. I do like Elantris.
I'm definitely in the minority. I just thought it
Mhm.
was super boring. And, what's the color one?
Oh, Warbreaker.
Warbreaker.
Yeah.
I'm a little so-so on it too.
I
It,
I almost didn't finish it. I ended up putting it down for a while with the whole I'm forgetting the main girl's name, but when she has that like wedding night with the
yeah,
God King, it felt so like this is just gonna be like we're gonna witness an assault happen. And
yeah,
I was like, I don't want to read this.
mhm,
And it just made me feel so uncomfortable. To anybody that was in the same spot as me and put the book down for those reasons, just keep reading. That's all I'll say. Just keep reading. But
yeah,
yeah, I almost couldn't finish it. Yeah, I was like, I don't know about this.
yeah. I I was not a fan, which now,
Mhm.
so the rumor is supposedly he's gonna make book 2 of that, and maybe it'll be a lot better, but I don't
We'll
know when
see.
that's happening. Yeah.
Well, he's got to do the screenplays of all his Cosmere
Yeah.
stuff first, and Mistborn Era 3, and so there's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
coming first.
Yeah, oh yeah, because yeah, he's working on the movie for the next like 3 or 4 more months
Right.
of Mistborn, and then I think he's got the animated show, I think is what
Okay.
the Stormlight Archive is gonna be. I think it's gonna
Okay.
be animated, and
Okay.
then yeah, I think he's done with Mistborn Era 3. He's just I think he's editing it now or whatever. So, and it's supposed to be like cyberpunk type, ain't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking
Oh
forward
no.
to it. I think that'll be
Now I'm
interesting.
hyped about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'll be good.
Yeah.
So I'm interested. All right. So, what would you say is the process of your writing?
Yeah. So when I'm approaching a book, and now I've kind of got my process down first, and so my first thing that I do is I write down the major events that I want to have happen in the book, and then it's like, okay, if major event is, hey, Vin needs to meet Kelsier, and then major event two is they're at the ball, with Strathventure, and then major event three is she finds out blah blah blah. And so I write down those major events, and then I say, okay, how is character A, how's this main character going to go from point? And so I kind of plot it like four mini books, if that makes sense,
Okay.
and write an outline. And what I've learned works for me is I'll have my broader outline for the whole book, and then I'll outline chapter by chapter separately. And then once I have an outline for a chapter, I'll go and I'll write that chapter just while it's fresh in my head, and then revisit my broader outline. Like, hey, now that I've written this, do I need to tweak anything? And I really give myself permission in that first draft of the book to be bad, introduce plot holes, um, change character dynamics. Like, hey, these guys have funny banter here, and then here they don't like each other, and then here they don't know each other. Just try to figure out what works.
Yeah.
And then for my second draft, I just totally rewrite it. So just create a new document. And then I use the learnings from the first one now that I've thought through the entire story, and just write it chapter by chapter at that point. And I've learned that really helps me think through the story on a very granular detail, and it helps improve the final quality of the story overall. So that's kind of been my process. Um, One of the things that's newer is I'm starting to integrate a lot more real world research into it. And
Okay.
that was just something that never occurred to me before. But it's like, if you're writing a big battle scene, it's like, hey, all I have to do is find a period in history where the technology was at a similar level as this
Yeah.
book, find an actual battle, and then just flip the map and then just write what happened there, and put my
Okay.
characters in that. It's like, hey, that
Yeah.
helps me with battle scenes a lot.
Yeah.
Or cultural elements too. Like, I'm working on a side project outside of the universe of my main four books, that it's a fantasy world inspired by the Incan Empire. And so I'm just doing a lot of research into the Incan Empire to try to be like, hey, what elements of this make sense to put into a fantasy novel? Which elements would require changes, or could be improved on in a fantasy novel by changing this? Which ones need to stay as is? And so yeah, and that would be the other new aspect of my writing process, is I'm putting a lot more research into it.
Nice. Nice. What's up, EL? How you doing?
I didn't realize we
Mm,
were rolling.
yeah, we are rolling. Oh, have you read any of EL's books?
I have not. I have
They're
not. Any
very
that you'd
good.
recommend?
Yeah, all of them.
All of them.
They're all really good. Let's see. He sends me, or I've been gracious enough that he has sent me like the last like four of his books,
Okay.
and he does his own audiobook narration,
Oh, good for him.
and they're very good, very
Good
good.
for him. That's awesome.
So
I'll have to check his out.
yeah,
Is
I
there
just
a good first one to start with?
ooh, I don't know. EO, what do you think? I'll let him tell you because
Sure.
I just read The Lost Girl and it was really good.
The Lost Girl.
Yeah. I don't know if it would be up your alley or not, but I'll let him tell you what he thinks.
That
Being it's
sounds
his
good.
work. But a lot
Sounds
of them are
good.
shorter too. Like they're not that long, like in audiobooks and stuff. The
Sure.
Lost Girl is like a full length. So
Gotcha. That makes sense.
yes, yes, very good. So all right. How did you come up with your characters?
Yeah. So it started when I was writing my first draft of Shadows of the Sundered Lands. I felt like it was very obvious that this story was inspired by Legend of Zelda.
Mhm.
Um, and even down to, the ending of the book, with not a spoiler, there's even like dungeon exploration that takes place. Like, very much this is a Zelda story. And so I thought the main character needs to be the opposite of Link. And so, I mean, still brave, still heroic, but the opposite
Yeah.
of Link. And so I was thinking, Link tends to be smaller, younger, a little bit more athletic. And so I thought, what if the main character is like Jack Reacher, like this like
Mm.
huge, like an offensive or a defensive lineman sort of guy. And so I watched some clips from the Reacher show and was like, okay, that's going to be my main character of the story. And when I did my first draft, I sat back and I thought, he's too stoic, he's too boring. It's cool to have this, defensive lineman fighting monsters and stuff. And so I thought, hey, he's so physically strong and powerful. What if he has anxiety, basically? And
Mm.
so I started exploring this, like, why would this guy have anxiety, and building that into his backstory. And really, if you think about it, if you grow up in a world where you can't leave the confines of your small town, or you're going to be transformed into a monster, and there's people coming in and out, and some of them are like half transformed, they have a monster arm, and then these are not spoilers, these are early story detail stuff. His mother died during childbirth, and he lost his father at a really young age too, and so he was raised by his uncle. So this is a guy that puts a lot of pressure on himself to perform and be perfect. But then on top of that, this world has taken so much from him. And so it started to give him like panic attacks and anxiety attacks. And so I that was where he started. And I felt like this is really working with this really strong, powerful guy that has basically crippling anxiety. And so then I thought, I want another main character that's the opposite of him, someone who's extremely emotionally resilient but physically fragile. And so I wrote the secondary character is this woman named Czech, and she is extremely gritty, extremely resilient, very clever, but she has cerebral palsy, and
Oh,
she's in
wow.
this world, or she's in this city that's way overpopulated. It was like New York City, but now it's, imagine if New York City, if nobody could leave, and babies continue to be born and so on, and so there's rationing happening, and it's just way too overcrowded. And there started to be these rumors that they're going to have to mandate executions for people that are weaker in their society, like people that are elderly or severely disabled, like she is. And so she's
Mm.
trying to figure out a way to escape into the Sundered Lands, to escape this likely execution that would come her way because of her cerebral palsy. And so I liked having the two opposites: this really powerful guy with anxiety, and then this extremely gritty woman who has cerebral palsy.
Okay. That reminds me of like EO's book, The Lost Girl. There's
Uh-huh.
a kid in it that has, I think I'm right, but he has Down syndrome, but
Okay.
he's like extremely strong, like beats a dude to death with his own arms, like rips
That's
it off and
awesome.
kills him. It is wild.
That's I have I have been wanting to incorporate a character with Down syndrome into one of my
Mm,
stories, and I just haven't figured out the right way to write it yet. So I'll
mhm.
I'll, I'll definitely have to check that out, see how he does it, see what I can
Yeah.
learn.
It's good. All right. He had said easier entry is the novellas, but the Lost Girl would definitely get you.
Cool.
It's very good. The main of the novellas is they're short. Get you which is the shortest. Good job with that one. The rest are good. And then I love that you include challenges. Yes. Now I will say my favorite one besides the Lost Girl of his that I've listened to is the Incident at Peeling Head, and that's
Okay.
got Mike Molman all in it. He's the bad
Okay.
guy in it, and it's really good too. Really good.
I'll have to
So, but
check it
yeah,
out.
yeah, they're both excellent. So, what would be, or do you have a favorite character out of your book?
And so in Shadows of the Sundered Lands, there's a character introduced in the prologue named Lewick. And I think he was my favorite. He was a ton of fun to write. So he is not a human being. He's this creature called an Elmia, and I won't go into too much detail because it'll go into spoilers. But in the prologue, what you learn is that these Elmias are uh, they were once like the most powerful beings on this world, and they don't know what happened, but something has happened that has restricted their ability to basically leave like their main castle, their citadel. and things are getting worse and worse. And so they have been backed into this corner where they have to sign this treaty with human beings in order to survive. And you don't really know the details of this treaty or what corner they've been backed into, but the point of view of the prologue is from this character Luick, and then he pops up later in the story, and he was just so much fun to write. He was
Yeah.
so much fun to write. He he's very limited in how he can interact with the real world, and so the way he kind of copes with that is humor. Except he's not really a funny guy. It's like his humor is kind of weird,
Yeah.
and it was just really fun to write his character.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I meant to mention this. Yes, that's in his other world. Science fiction is the Incident at Peelinghead. So it's
Okay.
not, yeah. And then he finished book 2 of the awesome. Like that. I love side characters. Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool. Do you have a favorite line that you wrote in it? Like, is there anything that's like, oh yes, I'm a genius for writing this?
Yeah, in the prologue again, I
Okay.
was kind of hoping you were gonna. So I worked a little while on this, but again, talking about the end of this era for the Elmia people. They were once super powerful, and now they're having to enter subservience to humankind.
Mhm.
And the prologue ends where I said, Luick lowered his head, his heart heavy with the burden of a future now out of their control. The treaty was more than a loss of autonomy. It was the end of an era, the extinguishing of a flame that had burned bright for centuries, and all they could do was bear witness to its final flicker. And I was like, oh, I like
Nice.
that line. I like it.
Nice. Okay. All right. Oh, he had said, write whole stories from the point of view of side characters. And then he wants to see your book. He wasn't here in the beginning.
Pull it back up there.
There it is. Yeah.
Shadows of the Sundered Lands.
She's a beauty.
Yeah, it's a great. I love it. I love it.
So, all right. How do you make time for like your personal projects around other things that you do?
Yeah, there's a lot of things you have to say no to. We were talking about it earlier about being, full-time employees and being a dad, and there's there's just a lot of things you have to say no to. Like I don't really watch a lot of TV. I don't really play video games. I can't follow sports as closely as I wish I could. Um, there's it's just I have to make time for these books basically, and I like it. I'm not complaining. This is what I would prefer. It's just with how busy things can be, you just have to choose what you're going to say no to. And so my process has been writing once my kids go to bed. And so they're almost 4 in a year and a half, and so once they go down for bed, I'll pop open my computer and turn on some instrumental music and start writing. And I try to be kind to myself. And if I'm not able to write, or if a writing session's just not going well, it's like, hey, that's okay. It's just that season of life. Um, I see the speed at which some of these people can write right now. It's like, holy
Oh, yeah.
cow! Like you'll be reading about, hey, here's how to make it in the author world. You're like, hey, I want to learn this. Like, what you need to do is publish 5 books in your first year and a half. And I'm like, that is never going to be me. It's never going to be
Okay.
me. Yeah. And so yeah, I just do what I can after my kids go to bed. I've gotten faster at writing, so I can usually write, say 1 to 2,000 words in about an hour and a half. And so if I'm get a good writing session going, get in a good rhythm, 1,000 word. If you can do 1,000 words, 5 times a week, so 5,000 words in a week. In 20 weeks, you've written 100,000 words.
Yeah.
And so it usually takes me about 2/3 of a year to write a full length novel here, and they usually are around 100,000 words. The third book that's in beta reading right now is at 150,000, so it's the longest of the
Okay.
three. But yeah, so that's been my process.
Nice. All right. So you said you got to get the music going and all that,
Yep,
for you to
yep.
get in. So what do you need in your workspace to lock in and start writing?
Really just distraction free. So what I usually do is, I'll get little, earbuds in. I'll turn the music up probably way too loud. Audiologist would probably be like, "That's,"
Yeah.
but
But you
just
don't
shut
hear
out
nothing else. That's right.
right,
Yeah.
right. Sometimes I even close my eyes while I'm writing, and just try to
Okay.
visualize what it is I'm seeing. And I always laugh at the number of typos that end up
Yeah.
happening. Like
Are
you're
you
like, "Oh, we should
typing?
type."
You're typing
Yeah,
it
and I'll be
out?
typing it. Yeah, typing
Oh,
it out.
wow. I
Yeah,
I can't even type good. I couldn't imagine being
right.
with my eyes closed.
Yeah,
Man,
well,
okay.
there'll be lots of typos, and like, okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to go back and fix this. But sometimes it's just easier for me that way. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's what helps.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So I've never heard anyone say that. Like I get all, like, people candles and music and,
Mhm.
get all the vibe, but yeah, close your eyes and just type. Like that's pretty nice.
It's helped me. There have been several times where it's like I couldn't get started, and I
Yeah.
just close my eyes. I'm like, I'm just gonna start typing, and for whatever reason, that's what locks my brain in.
Yeah. Do you do like punctuation and stuff in it too, or is it just like you just flow with the words?
I do punctuation. There's gonna be typos
Yes.
again. When you're
Yeah.
little,
Yeah.
misclicks here and there. But yeah, I try to do punctuation too.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. Oh, all right. So are you planning on coming out with an audiobook with it, or do you want to try to wait?
Yeah, I
To
love that you asked that question. The audiobook will be coming out any day now.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, there's a guy, he's on Instagram. His name's Jake Calkins. I think his account's name's like Jake Calkins in VA, I think is what it is. But he did the audiobook for an independent book called Electric, about a guy that has seizures, and I really liked his voice, and so he is doing the audiobook for Shadows of the Sundered Lands, and super easy to work with. So anybody that's looking for a voice actor, I would recommend him. He's very, very easy to work with. Great guy. Did lots of great voices. If there was anything that I wanted him to revisit or re-record, he didn't complain. Anyway, it's been uploaded, and so yeah, it should be going live any day now.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. So only look, I don't know. I'm not doing any of this. The only thing I hope or wish, like on everybody that does it, just keep the same person through the whole series.
Right.
I'll ask. There's nothing worse than reading a book or listening to an audiobook and you get 1 or 2 in, and then they change the narrator for like a book, maybe 2, and then it
Yep.
goes right back to someone else or goes back to the original. It's like, what are we doing here?
Right.
Like,
Right.
keep it the same. Now I realize, yeah, okay, it might have been booked at the time, but
Mhm.
I can't help it. That I don't like that.
Or the third Dungeon Crawler Carl book, and Jeff
Mm,
Hayes crushes it with the Dungeon Crawler Carl books.
yep.
But in the third book, I don't know why they did this, but he has like one of his buddies record a scene with him, and
That's right, he
I'm
does. I
sure.
forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm sure his friend is a nice guy, but
Yeah.
it was like, what are we doing? Like, this guy
Yeah.
is not Jeff Hayes. Like, I would hate to be compared to Jeff Hayes, you know?
Yeah.
And you can hear he's on a different mic setup. You can hear ambient
Mhm.
noise. Like, it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. That's very true. I didn't even think about that, but you're completely right. I've read the first 3 of them. That's all
Yep,
I've read. But, yeah, man, and he might be top 2 best audio narrators
he's
out there,
incredible.
especially right now. He is so great just
Hmm.
from all the different voices. So good.
Yep.
So, all right, are you working on any other projects that's not the 4 books that you're on
Hmm.
in that?
Yeah, I've got the Incan Empire inspired project.
Yeah.
It's that it was a conversation that I had with my wife, actually, where we were in bed, and she said, I have an idea for a book. And I was like, oh, cool. Let's hear it. And she said, what if the story is about a woman that for some reason is magically required to have a child, and that through her having a child, the world's going to be saved, except she's infertile. And I was like,
Oh,
that's a really interesting idea, where
okay.
she has to have a kid to save the world, but she's infertile. I'm like, that's a cool idea.
Yeah,
Um, and I was like, do you want to write this with me? I was like, this is your idea. And she thought about it, and then she's like, you write it. That's your
yeah,
thing. I want you to write this. And so it was just kind of in the back burner. and we were reading James Islington's book, Strength of the Few. Each of the different perspectives is based in a different culture that's largely inspired by the real world. And she said, I think it'd be cool if this ever went to like Incan Empire. And I just thought back to her book idea, and I was like, okay, Incan woman, or a world inspired by the Incan Empire, this woman that has to have a child to save the world, but she's infertile and has to go on some sort of like Andes mountain adventure to solve this problem. And I was like, that's a cool idea. And so I started
Yeah.
writing it, and I'm about 12,000 words into it. And since it's her idea, I'm sharing it with her instead of like at the end. I'm sharing it with her chapter by chapter to get her feedback. And um, but it's been a lot of fun to write, and I've been doing a lot of research into the Incan Empire, and
Yeah.
um, super super interesting culture. The coolest thing, and I had a conversation with Bald and Balding about this, is through they had this system of keeping statistics called quipus, which they would get one long rope and then have a bunch of ropes dangling from it, and they would tie knots on these ropes. And depending on the place of the knot in the rope, the shape of the knot, the colors you could see, the space in between knots, the space in between ropes, it would say different messages, largely around statistics.
Okay.
And I was like, that's so cool. And so you can take that and apply it in a fantasy novel where, in more than just numbers, there's people that can like read this like a book, read these knots. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's just fun. It's been a lot of fun to write.
That's really cool. I
Yeah.
like that idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said you were doing that after or while you're reading The Strength of the Few. So have you read,
Mhm.
obviously you've read The Will of the Many. I have
Yep.
both of them right there, but I've not read them yet. Are they good?
They're awesome.
Yeah.
I think Will of the Many is better than Strength of the
Okay.
Few. It's the focus of the book is without going into spoilers or anything, it's a little bit more simple. It's not
Okay.
so much a like the world is in danger. It's just, hey, this guy, this really wants to survive, and
Okay.
it's just very, very personal to him. And there's all these people that are trying to get him to enact their will. And so, in one sense, the title "Will of the Many" is about all of these people, these many people trying to enact their will and get their will to be accomplished through him. Um, the second book, it takes this very large, epic, end of the world style scope,
Yeah.
without going into spoilers. Some people prefer that. I really liked the very small stakes of the first book of this poor kid Vis just wants to survive and be left alone.
Yeah.
But the second book is brilliant too. It's still a masterpiece. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. All right. So do you have a dream project you want to start and finish someday, whether it's just this one specific standalone or a 10 book epic fantasy?
Yeah. So I've got two that I'll
Okay.
share if that's okay. So
Yeah.
one would be the book four.
Okay.
So a dream that I've had since I was a kid is is a book where where there's crossover of main characters from different standalone books, and they're all good guys, but because of the events of their book, they're put at odds in like a global world war. And
Okay.
so the fourth book of this series is a world war book, and the characters of the story find themselves on different sides. And I thought that was really interesting. Like, you like these characters as a reader, and you know they're good guys, and they're trying to make good things happen, but they're now on separate paths that are causing some friction. And so I'm like, that's one thing. So I can't wait to get started on that one. I'm in my plotting and outlining phase for that right now. And then the other one that I'm working on is I really like the idea of a series where, again, each book is a standalone, but the main character makes a different decision at the beginning of the book and sets them on a totally different path. So um, like Mistborn with Vin. Like, what if you get to she meets Kelsier, and in one book she joins him and joins his crew to go steal from the Lord Ruler, in one book she goes to the Lord Ruler and turns Kelsier in, and then another book she tries to kill Kelsier and run away or something like that, and it shows what
Okay.
each one would be like. And so that's another
Yeah,
idea that I've had in my head.
that's pretty neat too. I like that. Oh, El said, be sure to read the story of Zach's mother, Sarah, in the book
Hmm.
of Genesis. She was
Hmm.
infertile before she was granted. Yep.
Yep. Yep. Oh,
Very true.
I've read that. My son's name is Isaac, based off of that same Isaac.
Very cool. Very
Hmm.
cool. All right. So, what advice would you give other people that want to become authors?
Yeah, I would say just start writing, and be willing. It's a marathon, so be willing for it to take a really long period of time for you to get it right. What I've seen, there's a lot of people that are very passionate about the story in their head, but they actually don't like writing very much.
Mm,
And so it's like, hey, either learn to love writing or learn to love the process of writing this book, or maybe there's a better outlet for this story somewhere. So if you're really wanting to write a book, um, learn how to write it and give that story justice. It's something you're super, super passionate about. Figure out what you need to do in order to make it as good as it possibly can be, and be willing for it to take years. Like this book, I wrote this for a little over 3 years and rewrote it several times to try to figure out how to get it right.
yeah.
Um, yeah, there's a lot of people out there that make it look like, oh, yeah, we just write books all the time and write these really fast, and they're writing 7 books in a year, and it's like you really have to learn how to write something that long first. And so that's the advice I would give people is be willing for it to take a long time. It's going to be discouraging. All of that's okay. Give yourself permission to let yourself be discouraged and just keep pushing through that.
Mm,
And if you keep trying, eventually you will write your book.
yes. El said, there's no substitute for writing. And remember that you cannot be good at
Mhm.
something you are not willing to first suck at. No
Right.
one is a master until they're a novelist.
Yeah. There
Very
there was a
true.
friend of mine who entered a short story into a contest and it lost, and she was pretty disappointed about it losing. And I said, "Hey, the most important thing is, one, you wrote your short story, and two, you put it out there."
Yeah.
Losing and feeling that sense of like, "Oh, I'm embarrassed." That's just the entry fee.
Mhm.
Once that's the entry fee to the stadium of celebrating and writing these books. And
Yeah.
so you have to learn to get through that. That's one of the themes of my book, Shadows of the Sundered Lands, is, hey, if you know you're going to fail at something, is it still worth doing?
Very true.
And yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's the theme
Yes.
of that book.
Mark, I did not know that. That's really cool.
Cool. Good for you, man.
Absolutely. All right. Let's see. Okay. If you were not an author, which I know you have a day job too, but
Mhm.
like what would be your dream job?
If I was not an author, what would be my dream job? That's tough. Because people would say like, well, if you weren't doing this day job, what would be your dream job? And I would say author. um,
Well,
I
it could
don't
be if you
know.
have a day job and you want to say it,
Yeah.
if not.
I do like my day job. I'm in marketing. It's
Yeah.
how I spend my career, and I really enjoy it a lot. I have no plans of leaving that field. I really enjoy it. And it helps out with learning how to market books, and so
Yeah.
but I'm trying to think if it was besides writing, what would be the dream job? I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, that's
It's
cool.
Yeah, I'm not
You're
sure.
doing
I'll
it.
be
I mean,
honest.
yeah, if it's what it is.
I would want it to
So,
be something in storytelling, I think.
yeah.
Some sort of storytelling platform.
Okay. What is it? Oh, I didn't see this. Answer to that question, Corbin, always. It was worth
Mhm.
trying. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, who is your favorite author or authors if you have more than one?
Yeah, I really love Brandon Sanderson. Michael J. Sullivan is another guy that anything he puts out I'll read. Right now, because I I had like a mind meld with The Will of the Many. It's like that may be my
Okay.
favorite book that I've read as an adult, and so I'm gonna say James Islington is my favorite. It
Okay.
feels a little unfair to compare him and Brandon Sanderson because Islington's put out 5
5
books, and
books? Yeah.
Sanderson's put out like 5,000
Yeah.
books. So, yeah, so it's not apples to apples, but
Yeah, but if it
I'm
clicks, I
right.
mean, that's really what
And
it is.
one of the things that I loved about James Islington too, so his previous series, the Lycanius trilogy, um, he you if you read it, like I'm reading it, and they're having these philosophical conversations about God. And hey, if God is in control, are we responsible for our actions, or is he the one that's responsible? So if we do something horrible, is it actually his fault, or should we bear blame? And I was like, this is like, I've grown up in church. I'm a Christian. I'm like, this is like really like this sounds like conversations I've had. And what I learned is Islington is also a Christian, and as you go through the books, you see how his worldview has shaped these moments in the story and the themes of, hey, God is sovereign, but we're still responsible for our actions. And so I was like, oh, that's something I want to learn from is how
Mm,
you can incorporate that worldview without getting preachy or without getting cheesy, and
yeah,
still make it a true quality story on its own. So yeah, James Islington, I think, is a genius.
awesome. I've heard that the Lacanius trilogy is really good too. So
Mhm.
I think I have it on my Kindle as well. I just need
It's
to
good.
read it.
Yeah.
All right. So if you could put yourself in any story, which one would it be?
If I could put myself in any story. Well, there's a lot of fantasy worlds that are very interesting that I would not want to visit.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, this is one. I would not want to visit this world. I would say I'm going to say The Hobbit.
Okay.
I think the Shire is the best place to live. Yeah, I'll say The Hobbit.
The funny thing about that is I've asked this question several times, and nearly 9 out of 10, everybody says The Hobbit. With the Shire, it's like, yeah, it's like that's the safest place you could be.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's so funny. We love these stories and how dangerous the worlds get, but
Yeah.
we would never want to visit these
Oh,
worlds.
no, no. Now, I think it'd be different if you, like, knew you could have some powers or something,
Sure,
then
sure.
maybe, but you just being a normal human going in there,
Right.
it's like, I don't know if it's gonna work out.
Yeah, like I think it would be cool to be a knight radiant.
Yeah.
And what are the people that can fly? Like wind. It's
Oh,
not.
Wind
It's,
Dancers or no, oh
I, don't-
my
I'm-
gosh.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I hadn't read the books in, well, a long time now.
Yeah, it's the one that Kaladin is. Like, I think that
Yeah,
would be cool. So if you
yeah,
told me, like, hey, you're going to be in Roshar, no, with no high storm for 30 minutes and you can fly, I'm like, awesome, I'm
yeah.
in. This sounds great.
Alright.
Otherwise, I'll pick the Shire.
Yeah. It's better be safe.
Right.
Alright. We've went on for a smidge over an hour. I've got 3 questions left,
All right.
and they are for me. So, sorry, I'm gonna be selfish.
All good.
First off, what are you reading right now?
So right now, I'm reading The Scion Conspiracy by Mike Cahoon.
Okay.
It's great, by the way. And if you don't follow Mike Cahoon, anyone that's listening to this, if you don't follow him online, he's a great follow. He's a great dude. So I'm reading that, and then I am listeing to Red Rising. So I just started
Oh,
that.
you just
Uh,
started the series?
just started the series.
Okay, we got a few more minutes here.
Yeah, I'm like
I
just finished chapter 1. Just started the series.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say I just finished Lightbringer, like,
Okay.
last month. To me, it is the best series. Like, it is my all-time favorite, number
Mhm.
1. Like, every book is at least every book's a 5-star for me except for, which I could have been just my time, Iron Gold, yeah, which is book 4. And
Mm,
the reason that it threw me off is because that's when it shifts to multiple POVs.
gotcha.
The first 3 books are just Darrow, and when you read Golden Sun and you get to that ending, it is gonna blow your mind.
Can't wait. I
And
can't wait.
then yeah, and then when you start Morning Star book 3 and you read that first few chapters, it is gonna blow your mind. I'm telling you, that series is incredible.
Awesome.
It's so good. Those first 3 books, I'll still say are better than the next 3, but they're
Okay.
not bad by no means. They are very good. I just did Iron Gold, whenever you switch to the multiple POV and then you go, and I felt personally nothing really like these multiple characters don't ever interact with each other in it.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what is the point in this? But then in book 5, Dark Age, and boy, it's dark. They do. And then in book 6, Lightbringer, it gets even better. So yeah.
Awesome. I can't
So
wait. I can't
oh,
wait.
that series is incredible. So yeah, you'll love it. Okay. So what would you say is your favorite book of all time? If you have multiple, you can say multiple, but
Sure. Lord of the Rings has gotta be up there. Like,
yeah.
it feels like s sacrilegious not to. I'm gonna put The Will of the Many up there too,
Okay.
'cause it just blew me away. Words of Radiance is gonna be up there. Yeah, so those are the ones I'll pick: Lord of the Rings, Words of Radiance, and Will of the Many.
Mm. I've not read Lord of the Rings. I just read The Hobbit 2
Mhm.
months ago, and it was
Okay.
phenomenal. It's so much like, I really liked the movies, that
Mhm.
trilogy, but when you read the book and it's so much more concise and not a
Yeah.
bunch of that stuff that's in the movies, it's just like, "Oh, I get this. This is
Right.
good."
Right,
So,
right.
yeah, I'm excited to do that. I'm waiting on I've got what is it? The Fellowship of the Ring. I think I've got like 6 weeks I've gotta wait for it on the Libby app to
Okay.
audiobook it, the Andy Serkis, narration of
There
it.
you go. There you
And
go.
then the other 2 I have, but they're like a couple of months wait. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
wait till all 3 of them are ready, and
Sure.
then I'm just gonna nail all 3 of them and do them
Mhm.
all at once, just because
Sure.
I've watched the movies. I couldn't tell you how many times, and I
They're
love
so
them.
good.
They are great, yes. So, yeah, I wanna wait so I can just binge all 3 of them, all 3
Mhm.
of the audiobooks. So, but yeah,
That makes
and then
sense.
yeah, and then I will read, The Will of the Many, which I have it, so
Mhm.
it's just a matter of time. So, okay, so last question. What book would you recommend me to read?
I would recommend Shadows of the Sundered Lands.
Yep, yep.
No, that goes without saying. Have you read I've got it back here. Have you read the Bloodsworn Saga?
I've read book 1, and I
Okay.
was not really a fan. I
Not
have
your
book
fan.
2. Now I wanna say
Okay.
this, I have book 2. His battle scenes are some of the best I've ever
Mhm.
read.
They're so gnarly too.
They are, and I don't know if I just couldn't get into the characters or not, so I'm gonna give book 2 a chance. But if I don't like it, then I'm probably done. But I have book 1, Malice,
Okay. I haven't
whatever
read
that I
that.
can't remember what series is, but that's supposed to be his best series.
Yeah.
It's like a
I've
big, and they are thick books
yeah.
too.
I've heard good things about that book.
There it is.
Let's see, do I have any others?
Yeah, John Gwynn's Malice,
Yeah, it took my brain a
that one.
minute to adjust to the honestly, the level of violence
Yeah,
in the books, like, it's so graphic, it's so gnarly. Um, I thought the 2nd book was the best of the series, so if you're reading the
okay,
2nd one and it's not for you, um, yeah, it may just not work out for you, but,
okay,
yeah, I loved the Bloodsworn books.
okay. Yeah, like I said, the first book was not bad by no means. I'm not saying that.
Mhm.
It just wasn't really hitting for me. I really liked the
Sure,
battle scene. So I was like, okay, I'll give book 2 a shot, which I have
sure.
right behind me as well. So I'll read it, and then yeah, I'll either buy book 3 or then I'll just get rid of the first 2 books.
There you go.
So
I will say I read them I was on a trip in Ireland when I was reading them, and
okay.
so I was, learning about Vikings and Norse culture,
Yeah,
and so I don't know if just being in that part of the world enhanced my enjoyment of it,
it
but yeah,
could.
I thought they're
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. I seen where he just didn't he just announce his new series or new book?
Yeah, like The Wolf of War or,
Yeah, I think so.
Wolves of Warband, something like that.
Yeah, sounds interesting. So
Yeah.
I definitely want, like I said, I want to give Malice a shot because everyone that I've
Mhm,
talked to is like, this is his like rare best he's got for series wise that
mhm.
so far, you know.
Yep, yep.
Oh, yeah. John Gwynn is a modern day master. Yep. That's what I've heard.
Mhm.
And then I'll give him the benefit of the doubt too, because the Bloodsworn also in the middle of when I think his daughter passed
Yeah.
away, and a lot of tragedy and stuff at
Mhm,
home life, and I get that. So
mhm.
I'm not giving up. If I don't like book 2, I'm still not giving up on him as an author just
Sure.
because, I know he's got other stuff too.
Sure.
Bernard Cornwell, yes. I have the first 3 books. What is it? The Last Kingdom?
Mhm.
Yes. And then I have that whole, what is this? The Author trilogy, The
Okay.
Winter King, and what is it? Something God, and then Excalibur. This is a trilogy of his, and it's supposed to be top tier. So I don't know if you've read any Bernard Cornwell, but it's
Alright, so
supposed
I'll
to
have
be
to check it
really
out.
good. So everybody I've talked to about it said that they're great.
Cool.
So all right. Well, that's all I got. Do you got anything you want to plug or whatever before we go?
Yeah, it's if you want to connect, I'm on Instagram and TikTok, and check out my newsletter. It's Corbin Rook, Corbin Rook author at WordPress.com, and check out Shadows of the Sunderlands. We're almost at 50 ratings, and it's at like a 4.56.
Oh, heck yeah.
Just had both my SPFBO reviews come in. Had one 4-star, one 5-star. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Real quick here, EL. Have you read J.L. Odell, By Blood, by Salt, or A Haunt of Jackals? I have both on my Kindle, but I've not read, but I've heard very, very good things.
By Blood, by Soul. That's on my TBR. It's one I want to check
Okay.
out.
All right. Glad to see you. Look forward to the audiobook.
Good
Absolutely.
to see you too.
Well, hey, thank you very much for being on, and I really appreciate it. And we'll definitely stay connected, and maybe whenever next book comes out, I'll have you on before or something, and we'll get this going.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Well, y'all have a fantastic rest of the weekend, and see y'all next time.